Okay. That was your warning. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Some of you know me, some of you don't. So I'm just going to give you a really lightning, quick tour as to who I am. I'm Safana. I write almost every day. And that's all I do. And when I'm not writing, I read about writing, or I'm teaching writing, or I'm editing writing. It's literally all I do. And by writing really, really specifically, I do mean writing copy. And I had to put this slide in because of the last one. I felt not legit, but I am super legit, I promise. I really do write a lot all the time, and I teach people how to write it. And this is an online version of something that I would do in real life, but I'm taking it online for fun. But specifically, I thought it would be good to discuss what is copy at the very beginning, and to really clarify exactly what we mean and why it is the backbone for a lot of the things that we're going to learn. Okay, so copy is literally just writing with a job to do. So a copywriter's job is just to convey a message from my brain into their brain or your brain, to get you to think, act, or believe something. Really, that's it. And that's the only difference. I'm not doing it to, get you in your feels about poetry or whatever. I'm doing it to change something. So there should be an actual change with copy. That's the only distinction, but it is worth mentioning here. Okay. We've got a lot to get through, which is why I didn't have time to email everyone else. Okay, so stick with me here. It's going to be quite dense. We will have a breather at one point, but please believe me, it's also a very fast breather. So we're going to go through what is a buying environment, why we've been programmed, first brain versus second brain, a bunch of tactics that people are going to use this Black Friday on you to get you to buy. And then we're going to have some examples. The reason I've structured it like this today is because by the end of today, what I'm really hoping is going to happen is that whenever you see Black Friday messaging, you think two things. One, let me stop and think for a second. And then two, okay, someone's trying to get my money. Do I really need this to happen? And then my intention is, if you've got into this habit in Black Friday, you're going to scale this for the rest of your life, and you'll be a much smarter consumer. That's the intention. But just so you know, I did this to someone. I did like a proof run because I really love prep. And I want to warm you up and let you know that while we're going to be talking about beautiful adverts like this and their impact on you, please know this is not a personal attack on you. Do not take it personally if you love buying things and you love selling things, and you're really into the capitalist regime. It's not a personal attack on you in any way, shape, or form. Do whatever it is you want to do. But what I really want you to understand is there's going to be a difference between the thing of must own and the thing to absolutely don't need to own. And it's the frivolous, regretful buying that I'm hoping this will cut out of your life. That's really what I'm hoping for, right? So if it's going to be useful for me versus useful for my dad, that's the analogy I always use of like something I need may actually be a real genuine need. And then something for someone like my father, who's very close to me, may actually just be a frivolous need, or frivolous want, okay? And it's the regretful buying on either side of the spectrum that we're trying to get into. It's not the, you don't need these vital things. We're just trying to get to that top one, okay? So it's not a personal attack. Everyone relax. And let's get into it. We've been prepped enough, okay? So we're going to go through first and foremost the two criteria needed to get us to part with our money. And the two criteria are actually quite simple. We need to be primed, and we need to be in something called second brain. Okay, so here's what we mean by that. For us to be primed, the idea comes from this wonderful book, which I highly recommend to anyone trying to get into copywriting, is before we're met with any advert in Black Friday, we know it's an advert, and therefore we're okay with parting with our money. So in order for an advertiser to go ahead and sell us something, they need to make sure that we're already primed into a buying environment. It just means we're more primed to spending our money. And now that sounds like something that could be quite abstract, but it's actually super, super tangible. And what I mean by that is you can look at some of these images here, and then you'll see, actually, I understand that one of these will want me to instantly part with my money, and the other one I'll have to go through some bits to part with my money. So we've been so programmed to the whole buying process, we kind of know which stage we're in of it as we are doing it. And please know that is because we've been programmed that way. And as a quick little exercise we can do together. I've got 4 images up on the board, on the screen. Which one is not an ad? Please, can you put it in the chat? Which one is not an ad? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Please, can you write it in the chat? 3 is not an ad. 3 is not an ad. Yeah, 3 is not an ad. And these things are super small, but we know on impact, even though you don't know the situation of where each of these things is, you're already aware of which one is an ad and which one isn't. And that, in normal speak, is actually called programming. Like, we've really been programmed, okay? And it works. It works. We know what's happening, and we know we're going to part with our money. And it's not just in the buying environment, it's the everything leading up to it. And this is allowing me to go on a bit of a spiel so far. So even the words that we're going to talk about today, Black Friday, they really didn't mean anything in the UK about 7 years ago. And even when they hit our ears, they kind of landed almost oddly, because we didn't associate this end of November time with anything really to do with sales. But it came and it kept on coming, and it didn't stop. And then people started going, Black Friday, 70% off, Black Friday, 50% off, all of this stuff. And it's taken time, but now we know what to associate Black Friday with. So it's that thing of, we are primed to spend our money. So not only do we understand the visual of the advert, we understand the timing, the seasonality of all things to do with buying. Okay, that's number 1. Cyber Monday is definitely going to be next. Cyber Monday currently hits the UK ears a little bit odd, if we're going to be honest, but you know, you can kind of almost mark my words. This time, maybe in the next few years, it's going to be very normal. The Cyber Monday is an extension of Black Friday, because that's the way it's going. And another way that we've seen this is pumpkin spice latte being associated with autumn. There are countless ways that you can understand how we've been programmed to buy, and things they want us associating with other things, right? But it's a really simple programming technique. It's just a message and association. And if you keep doing it to a human being, they will just end up associating things. So this is kind of my plea to you, to set your own standard. As an advertiser, these standards are actually something I take advantage of. And I'm being really, really transparent with you here. It's actually something I fully would, with a client, say, people are primed to buy in this situation. If we use these words, they will spend more money. It's better for our margins. But as a human trying to get you to consume extremely consciously, this is my plea to set your own standard behaviors. Otherwise, they will be set for you. Feel free to look into the psychology of all of this. But if you do not set your own standards, they will be set for you, because we are primed to be programmed. As human beings, we really like shortcuts. We're going to get into that in a little bit later, but slash now. But here you go. So that's criteria number 1, right? To be primed. The second thing is, for us to be primed, we need to be in what is called first brain. If you've ever seen me on the internet, you will know that I guess like a prolific advertiser of just this idea, because I think this alone can unlock the way that we perceive ourselves and what we do in our actions. The idea of first and second brain comes from a book called Thinking Fast and Slow by a gentleman called Daniel Kahneman. And essentially his whole synopsis, well, one of his headline takes is that we are susceptible to being programmed because we spend a lot of time in our first brain. So what is first brain? First of all, let's understand what second brain is. Everything that not second brain is what first brain is. I'm going to just admit someone, sorry, gang. Second brain is the thinker. It's the hard grafter. So if we say our brains are divided into 2 gears, the first and the second, there is only one brain in which we do the hard craft. There is only one brain in which we do the thinking. And it's a little bit harder to get into. I've on purpose put this in a slight chunk of text, okay? But essentially we avoid getting into second brain because we quite like the autopilot. It's really easy for us to sit there and be programmed, which is why in the previous slides, I really recommended, please do your own self-programming. Otherwise, advertisers and media personnel, and sometimes journalists will do it for you, right? This brain, this very brain, and the fact that it's so hard to get into is actually the reason we spend so much, like I say in this one. Sorry, gang. So this is first brain. First brain is the autopilot brain, right? And it's the brain that, I'm not going to lie to you, you're probably in right now. The reason you're in it right now is because I haven't really said anything that is too difficult to get your head around. I will say there is one exception to people not being in first or second brain binary. And some people who are lots of the time spending their time in second brain is because they tend to be neurodivergent. Okay. So if you are neurotypical, you are most likely currently in this brain. It is the brain that skipped to the very end, you see question mark. That's the brain that I'm talking about. And that's how you know you're in that second brain, is because it didn't spend time discerning what's on this screen. All the text that's on the screen was just to get you to jump to the UC, right? To prove to you that you are probably in first brain. If you read through it line by line, you are in second brain. Well done, well done, well done, well done. But a lot of the times, that's why we can summarize our entire existence really into one sentence. So we've covered the two main criteria needed for advertisers to know that they can just get in there. And the fact that they know that we spend a lot of time primed, number one, so we understand what a buying environment looks like because we've been through it loads and loads of times. They've done the pre-programming to say Black Friday is the time you spend, pumpkin spice latte is the thing you buy in autumn, all of these wonderful stuff. And they also know that we're going to spend a lot of our time in second brain because it's so hard to switch into, in first brain, I should say. How silly. We're in first brain, right? Because we spend so much time in autopilot. Okay, so here's what I would say. For us to be in these two things, we're usually in the evening on holidays, and by that I mean spending holidays, after paydays, a little bit relaxed. And we're looking for things like low prices, ease of delivery, everything is nice, nice, nice. So I wanted to get those two things out of the way because as an advertiser, like I say, those are the two prerequisites. The two prerequisites that allow us as an advertiser to know that you're going to be susceptible to our messaging. And now comes the time to send our messaging. And there are three things actually needed for us to buy. And the distinction I wanted to make here with these really good copywriting tactics that we're going to get into and how they've come to be is what they do is they take your first brain into believing that what you're about to buy is actually an opportunity and not a cost. We're going to repeat that because if you're going to write anything down, this is the bit I highly recommend. Buying in these holidays, if done correctly by the advertiser, will seem to you, the buyer, like an opportunity and not a cost. You will say things like, you will not believe what I've just about to get. You will do things like, oh, I'm really excited to receive this parcel. And that would be absolutely fine if you were excited by that purchase the next day and the next day and the next day. But a lot of the times, if they've done their job correctly, you'll purchase things like it's an opportunity and not a cost because of these three things they're about to go through. One of them is scarcity. The other one is benefit. And then the last one is that all of these things are described very simply for our wonderful first brain to get into. Okay, fabulous. So the first one, we're going to get into scarcity. The idea of scarcity, if you want to read up on it very much in detail, and the detail that I would really recommend is from this wonderful book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. And this is the book that every advertiser, I would say journalist, would read to really get to understand the levers that convince us to think anything or do anything or buy anything. Scarcity says, if I pull this lever, which is tell them it's about to run out, people will want it. And we want things because they are rare and because they are scarce. That's really how it works, right? And when we talk about rarity and scarcity, I do mean two things. If I can convince you that you are scarce on time or I am scarce of stock, you are more likely to want to do the thing, purely because you will see it, again, as an opportunity and not a cost. It works because we are so loss averse that we would rather spend money to take advantage of what we perceive to be an opportunity than lose out on not spending that money. And here are just two very good examples where it just says Black Friday, limited time only. And then on one wonderful website I saw, it just said something very simple. This top is just low in stock. You just had a low in stock corner right there in the corner, just letting you know, by the way, this is about to run out. So even if I didn't want to look at it before, I'm now going to think, listen, this is almost my last chance to get it. On any holiday, this scarcity factor is ramped all the way up. And that is why we're going to spend a ludicrous amount of money. Number two, obviously they can't just tell you it's about to run out and tell you it's, I don't know, a computer screen without explaining things to you, right? So the number two thing that people need to understand, that as an advertiser, how you would perceive the benefit. And I mean that in those words, how you as an audience would perceive the benefit. I'm going to go back to the example of selling things to me versus selling things to my dad. The way my father would perceive a benefit of any product, even if it's the same product, is very different to me. For example, the benefit I see in a Mac is that it's light because I travel all the time. The benefit he sees is that it's easy to navigate, right? Two different benefits of the same product. If I, as an advertiser, can figure out the benefit that you see, all I have to do is tell you that benefit in your words, and then you should be able to buy. There's a gentleman here on this call who used to work with me in a startup. And in that startup, what we used to do, this is a personal story, I'm just letting you know. What we used to do is we used to sell a subscription to an online book service that gave you access to 1 million books. That's what it did. 1 million non-fiction books that could make you essentially learn anything, right? That's what it sold. And this, one of our subscribers emailed me and he said this, and it changed my life a little bit. It's here in this small text. He said, I'm getting the impression from all of your advertising that you believe that 1 million books is a selling point. And he went, I do not care that you have 1 million books. I just care that you have my book. That's singular. What I mean by this is an advertiser will spend time and money that you would not believe understanding how you say things and how you perceive the benefit. So on this here Black Friday, they can show you one image, tell you one sentence, tell you it's about to run out, and then get your money. The benefit is very specifically in your language. It's your local language. It's how you would describe the benefit. I'm going to show you the simplest version I saw of this, and it's ridiculous. And this worked. This was just from a TikTok that I saw of this girl. And she just said, you can get the clean girl aesthetic. And first of all, she showed us this messy car, and then she cleaned up her car. And then she said this on her screen, tomorrow you are gonna buy. In the chat, can you please guess what she wanted us to buy because of this clean girl aesthetic after showing us these benefits of the clean girl aesthetic? Can you just guess what product she was trying to sell us on TikTok Shop? I'll take any takers in the chat. Give me a guess. A mini Hoover, a lighter charger, cable organizer. Yeah, it was car perfume. It was car perfume. And the reason I want to show you this and let you know this is because that's what I would have thought she's going to sell us, something to do with that thing. But really and truly, by the end of the video, and okay, please believe me, I do not have a car for myself. I really wanted that perfume. It worked on me. I'm not like immune to the source, right? You can't see the smell. So yes, you can't see the smell. Absolutely. But she had to show you the clean girl aesthetic. And when we talk about clean girl aesthetic, there are people on this call who will see those 3 words and they will scroll past it. But there are people also on this call who will see clean girl aesthetic and they will go, well, that's exactly what I'm going for. But that is exact. Those 3 words is my bag. That's what I'm going for. And so I'm going to buy what you tell me to buy if you tell me there's a scarcity of it. And it's a car freshener. There we go. It's there in writing. So that's how that works. The benefit, if it's not in your language, will not work on you. But if it is in your language and there is any kind of scarcity, you will buy it. If, of course, we abide by the 3rd rule, which is to write clearly, describe things simply. So now let's do a swift recap because this is our breather time. We've understood that an advertiser knows that we are primed to buy because the work has been done for them already, right? It's a holiday season. We've now associated Black Friday with sales, where it's just 2 words, right? It's a color and it's a day of the week. So we have no business associating that with anything to do with sales until they've done it for us. That's the whole programming. Then we are primed to buy with visuals that let us know that this is going to be an advert and it's very okay for you to part with your money. And then they describe some kind of scarcity, right? So the scarcity is to say, you are going to either run out of the opportunity to buy this item because it's running out, or this, there is no time. And Black Friday is actually really good at this. Then they say this whole thing of the idea that this is a good product and it's useful to you, they will say this to you in your language. So the copy that is used, and this is where copywriting really is key, is in your language specifically. And if I can do all of this stuff and explain it to you really simply, and I've written to be understood, you will never misunderstand my intention. And that's now the key, right? So we're saying it's going to be an opportunity for you to buy because it's scarce and time is running out. This is the perfect thing for you to buy because it will change your life. And you understand that I need you to buy it. So here's a really good example that I found. And I actually really, really love this. This is from a company called Gymshark, right? And this is the thing that happened on their email. They came into my inbox and they said up to 70% off everything on the 21st of November. And then you opened it up and then it said just another reason to buy Gymshark. And then it told me there was up to 70% off everything on Black Friday. And then it told me that I can now build my wish list so I can get up to 70% off everything on November 21st because it's Black Friday. Nobody is lost as to what is happening here, right? And it's actually a very compelling offer, right? If you think about how simple this is, because I feel like up until I showed people or showed you this, it could have been perceived that it's actually quite difficult to get my money, but it's actually very, very easy. I just have to know that you are primed to buy something on Black Friday. I tell you that there's something that is going to last until a certain time. And then it's it. That's it. It's simple. So are we lost? Do we know what the discount is? 100%. Do you know what it's on? It's on everything. Do you think they want me to buy? Absolutely. Absolutely, they want me to buy it. That's it. Not lost on me at all. So now we're 3 for 3. We've understood scarcity. There's a time restriction. There's a quantity limit. And it's very popular, right? To some, this is all running out. It all goes into my brain that what I'm about to do is the most regular, run-of-the-mill. I'm not doing anything special by shopping. In fact, actually, it's quite crazy if I don't take advantage of a Black Friday deal. Very easy to do. The benefit is very clear, whether it's in images or it's in words or it's in both. It's in my language. I understand it. It's for me, not my dad. I know it's for me. I know you want me to buy because you've described it simply. And I can understand all of this at a glance. The reason I need to understand all of this at a glance is because I'm probably in first brain, because I don't want to take the time and energy to go into second brain, because that would be exhausting. This is a breather time, because we're going to get to the nice tips and tricks, because you've understood the mechanics behind it all. And I've shown you a really simple example. Before we get into 3 examples that I think you should just be on the lookout for, I thought I would give you some really, really practical tips, starting with how susceptible you might be. You just gauge for yourself. This is a self-evaluation kind of vibe, okay? If you are really susceptible to buying on Black Friday, I would suggest going to the very bottom of the pyramid. But if you're kind of all right and you're like me, you can do the top, okay? So first, I would recommend the first layer is observe your behavior as you're buying, just before you buy. Maybe take a break and come back to it, right? Don't do the rush. If you feel in a rush, if you feel your heart palpitating, like I need to get this now, they've given you a timer, just take some time out. Just take some time out. Believe that you've got at least a few seconds and come back to it. If you still really want it and you still believe you need it, then go ahead. Do not go on socials. This is the second level. If you can't do the first one, do the second one. Do not go on socials or buy anything in the nighttime. Just in the nighttime, because you are more susceptible to buying things in the nighttime. You will order things in the nighttime that you will forget about by the daytime. Okay, so just do that for yourself. Just get off the socials and those things in the nighttime. Okay, just do that. Sorry, Zainab, that you ordered things. Yeah, just don't do things in the nighttime. Have what I call a buying curfew. If you can't do that, or even if, this is not intense enough, just delete your credit card information from your computer, just at least for the holiday season. Just for the holiday season, just do this. And if you really have no self-control, I highly recommend deleting all socials and don't look at emails during holidays, because they will really get your money. And by they, I really, really mean me. Like I really mean me and my clients will find a way to get your money. And if you have no business spending it, and this is the criteria, please, please, please do not buy frivolously. I'm trying to be the goodie in the copywriting world, okay? So just tell me how I'm doing. No, but honestly, seriously, don't do it. Okay, we're going to get into examples. How exciting. Okay, the first one has to be Amazon, because I defy you to write amazon.co.uk if you live in the UK, or amazon.com. I just defy you to not buy a thing. It's almost, I believe it's almost impossible. Okay. We're just going to look at the screen, and I'm going to read through, based on what we've understood so far, just some of the mechanisms that they are using here. Okay. We're going to almost ignore. Wow, Mariam. We're going to ignore this bit. Okay. Already we see this red sticker because our eye goes to the red. They know this because that's what our eyes do, right? Our eye goes to the red and it says it's a Black Friday deal. Already, because of those two words, I know I'm doing a good job, right? Black Friday deal, fabulous. What is it? Wow. They've crossed out the RRP. They've got the minus 31%. They've got this whole, listen, it's a whole thing just in that little trifecta. They've convinced you that you're about to get an absolute bargain. Then they can tell you there's free returns. So they've already taken one worry off of your head, right? Because your whole brain is going to be like, but what about if I don't like it? Don't worry about it. There's free returns. Yeah. Prime 1-day delivery. Fabulous. All of this free delivery, all of this stuff is to just ramp it up and say, you are so lucky to be able to buy this. And your brain does that by going, it's a Black Friday deal. It won't be available. It's exactly what I need because of all of these pros, all of these benefits, and I've got all of this ability to buy it. So I'm going to put it in the basket and buy it now. That was one of 1,000 options I could have chosen from Amazon. So please do your own perusing, but only for like education. Don't actually go and buy things. Okay. If anyone remembers the first slide where we went through the learning outcomes, this isn't specifically about earrings. This is about how you are going to be sold to in what I'm calling the wild. No matter what you do, advertisers are picking up on exactly what it is you want to buy, right? They know that you are susceptible to being sold to, so they will figure out the kind of products that you might buy. This is just one example of an advertiser that has been following me around. And I just wanted to show you the kind of messaging that they were showing me. And then I went and did an extra level of finding out. At first, they came up on my Instagram page, and this is what they look like. I can get this much off of solid gold, right? It's a limited time only. You can see now, limited time only is them doing the scarcity. I actually am in the market for some solid gold. So this is ideal for me, right? They know this. They know this. Limited time only. I'm already interested. By the way, if anyone's interested, this 30 was actually a count up gift. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it went all the way up. Like I saw it tick all the way up to 30, and that was to get my actual visual attention. And it's limited time only. I'm under no misconception, misguidance. They want me to shop now, right? I once clicked on their website, and this is what happened. New Black Friday. So already we know we need to buy. I just want you to look at this word flash sale, because when we talked about scarcity, and I told you it was really simple to ramp up the word scarcity, the word flash sale insinuates scarcity of time. And again, the reason we're going into these mechanics is because I want you to understand just how insidious it is in absolutely everything. There is a person who has been paid to pick the word flash in front of the word sale so that you will buy a thing. And that person is getting probably paid retainer money. So just know that it's that insidious, okay? Limited stock, about to run out, flash sale, all of these words mean something. They're telling our first brain something, right? That means it's an opportunity for me to buy this ring. Yeah? Cool. So yeah, click through this. It's a flash sale. It's new Black Friday. It's new. It's new. I'm one of the first people to get this. So I'm the lucky one, you understand? And I get up to 50% off. Okay, cool. It's a flash sale on this specific ring that is stunning. It's a stunning ring. Cool. Now, I did some research about this company because, again, I just want to let you know the kind of scale. It's not a huge company, this Monica Benamilima, and they sell gold. I don't know if you know this, if you don't work in advertising, but you're able to figure out exactly how many how many adverts any company is running through their Facebook ads. Specifically, this tiny company just in November alone was running 117 different creatives, just for their Black Friday. 117 different creatives for their Black Friday, and all of them
what
are
the fuck?
Amazing. That's amazing feedback. But yeah, that's how money, baby, money. Okay. And it's just directed at people like me. They know I'm primed to buy. They know, 117. Yeah, you can feel free to look it up. But I think there's a link here somewhere. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is a little snippet of their I don't know if they're AI generated. They look fantastic if they are AI generated, but I highly recommend you doing this. Just go into your second brain for a swift minute the moment you feel like you're being sold to. Okay, fabulous. Now we're going to go into TikTok because I would like to spend more time, I think, in this one, opening up to the floor and just, it's quite a small group of people. So we're gonna do TikTok and then we'll open up to the floor. So feel free to think of questions, ideas, thoughts, and feedback in this time. Okay, we're going to go through TikTok. Now, the reason this is so, I feel, pertinent in this time to go through this whole buying education, right, of like overspending, consumerism, and all of this stuff, is because TikTok as a platform has done what no, oh, I have to mute you, sorry. It's done what no platform has done before. And what I mean by that is it's humanized the copywriting bit. Because if you look at so far what's happened, I've shown you typing and really nice, clean cut imagery of just things where I'm going, oh, this is almost aspirational, right? TikTok has gone beyond that. They've said, you as Safana, who just has a phone, you are able to actually sell to your peers, you're able to earn commission, and you're able to do all of this and humanize the benefits of this thing. Because what I know that a marketer might not know are the benefits of a product the way that I use it, right? And that is actually worth its weight in gold. As a copywriter, that's something I would pay for. So I wanted to show you the back end of how TikTok is incentivizing people, like very normal people, right, to sell things on TikTok with their words and then letting them do that at scale. So first and foremost, there is something called the Seasonal Creator Hub. Now, please know that the target audience for this is someone like me who just has a TikTok account. I don't class myself as a creator or whatever, but they've just said there's a Seasonal Creator Hub, which to me, seasonal, it's running out of time, right? And it's a creator hub, like I'm part of a cute little community. These are all the Black Friday deals. And up until this time, it's let me know that I can, yeah, it is being recorded, but you can leave after this bit before we get into the thing, if that helps. Sorry, gang. That I can earn money, I can earn rewards, I can do all of this with YouTube, with TikTok Creator, okay? Then it does this, it sends me onto this page. And this, like I say, just a regular person who has a TikTok account. It's let me know that with the lowest prices of the year, I can promote all of these products. And people like this gentleman who his name is George. He's one of the TikTok's top creators. And I wanted to read you his script. Again, the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to understand that you are not safe from advertisers on these platforms. If anything, you learning this should hopefully allow you to just navigate purchasing better. This was George's script, okay? It's $89.99 for this Apple iPad. This is absolutely insane. You can buy it in this video. iPad 17, it's a refurbished iPad. It's 5.7-inch screen. It's got a 1-year warranty and free. Can you see where I'm going with this? It's very simple words that will get you because it's understood the benefit, and it's going to give you a time constraint, and it's going to give you some kind of stock constraint. And then at the end, he says it's a really perfect Christmas gift. So what I want you to understand is that it's not hard at all to get people's money on Black Friday. People know exactly what they're doing. We've read books to understand exactly what triggers you into buying. And we will, if we are persistent enough, program you into thinking that it is actually a benefit for you to buy. Like it's an opportunity. It's not a cost. Okay. So my recommendation is to be safe out there. Abide by these wonderful rules if you can, and don't I'm sorry, this was fear mongering. It's not fear mongering. I'm just letting you know the copywriting tricks. I'm not using the copywriting tricks that that people use to sell you things during the holidays. So it's light, it's all fine, it's all just Black Friday. But honestly, do stay safe out there, because they know that you're going to buy things that you don't need to buy, and you don't need to give into consumerism like that. You really honestly don't need to. So do whatever it is you need to nip it in the bud. So that is honestly the whole spiel. And this is time for questions. If you don't have questions, I've got things to say, so fret not. But you've had time to think about questions. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm actually going to stop recording so that, yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me stop recording. Pause or stop recording. We're going to stop recording now.